Now, leaders of 32 NATO members are gathering in The Hague for an annual summit with the unity of the bloc in question. There are divisions among allies of the world's biggest security organisation around a new defence spending pledge. US President Donald Trump has been putting pressure on members to increase their spending to 5% of their GDP and to decrease their reliance on American funding. Ahead of the meeting, countries such as Britain, France, Germany and the Netherlands have committed to the 5% goal, but there are others who are reluctant. The focus of a two-day meeting is set to shift to the shaky Iran-Israel ceasefire, but other issues remain, like the war in Ukraine. Our diplomatic editor, James Bay, spoke to the Estonian Foreign Minister, Margus.
A very busy agenda here at the NATO summit taking place in The Hague, things ranging from NATO's military spending to the war in Ukraine. But the thing that's not really on the agenda is the current situation in the Middle East. But it is dominating much of the conversation among NATO's 32 allies. One of those is Estonia. Its foreign minister is Margus Tsahkna. Minister, at the moment, you have a situation where one man, President Trump, seems to be running the diplomacy. It's very public. We're all watching his tweets, even telling Israeli fighter pilots to go back to their bases. He doesn't seem to be consulting you, his allies. Are you concerned about how this is going to play out?
We are concerned what is going to happen in the region, to be honest. No one is interested about further escalation, and I'm talking about the regional war. We are not talking about anymore the conflict. It's a war between Iran and also Israel. And of course, I understand as well President Trump well that he wants to cool it down and also start to negotiate and also have an agreement about the nuclear capabilities with Tehran. But now it seems, as you said as well, everything is changing in every hour. So we see now the new attacks from Israel, and of course President Trump has been using very brutal words about stopping Israel and now cool down and have a ceasefire. So let's see what is going to happen.
You talk about the need for a deal, you talk about negotiation and diplomacy, but there was a deal. And the man who ripped it up was President Donald Trump. Iran was not enriching at a high level until that happened. And when it came to diplomacy, Iran was negotiating with the US when Israel attacked. Iran had been negotiating with European foreign ministers just hours before the US attacked. Isn't it the US that's not engaged in diplomacy, in fact, engaged in deceit?
To be honest, Iran has not been very, good partner in about negotiations, and we are not sure on what level actually this nuclear program has been developed. And to be honest, if one regime is telling very clearly that their main purpose is to destroy the other nation or the country using nuclears as well in the future, so everybody was concerned about that. So we can argue about what President Trump did or not, but now
was it legal?
This was a situation right now that actually let's stop it and let's agree about.
Was it legal?
What was illegal?
Was it legal, President Trump's military action against Iran?
It's not about me to say about that, but be honest, it was a very straightforward decision.
But the problem, Minister, with this is for more than 3 years you have been making the case that Russia acted illegally, violating the UN Charter, breaching the international rules-based order by what it did in Ukraine. Isn't this just double standards? You're trying to convince countries around the world beyond NATO. Won't they see this as double standards?
We are talking about totally different things. Russia has invaded and aggression against Ukraine.
They're both international law. They're both the UN Charter.
Yeah. UN Charter is important, but you cannot mix like two different things. If you have one leader as Putin is just attacking one nation, destroying that, and not giving any opportunity for Ukrainians to exist in the future. This is actually his main goal. These are totally different things.
Margus Tsahkna, the Foreign Minister of Estonia, thank you for joining us here at the NATO summit, where they'll continue to discuss a range of different subjects, but President Trump and the continuing crisis in the Middle East, I think, dominating much of the proceedings. James Bays, Al Jazeera, in The Hague.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.